I think INEOS have to back him right now because he's put INEOS in the corner and said, you can't get rid of me. And like I said before, the only way you get rid of Michael Carrick right now, after what he's done, is if Luis Enrique leaves PSG and comes to Man United and knocks the door and says, guys, I want to manage Man United. He's the only person I'll do that for right now. Anyone else, there's too many question marks around them. Yes, guys, welcome to another episode of Rio Presents, brought to you by our trusted partners, Crafted. Joel Beya, Steve Howson are here with me, as usual. And today, guys, we got to start discussing the man. The Mr. Assists, the king of the assists. Bruno Fernandes, equaling the Premier League assist record. Michael Carrick is expected to sign a new 2-year deal in the next 48 hours, guys. Cannot wait for that to happen. And well deserved, by the way. And we'll be reflecting also on the madness that's going on at Anfield. Mo Salah just calling out his manager during the season, sending shots, just raw. And I love it. I love seeing what Mo Salah's doing. He ain't having it.
Players are going mad nowadays, man. Him and Mbappe, it's all going crazy in the world of football, man. But we have to reflect on the Casemiro content. Rio, I was saying before Steve came on, yeah, this is probably one of the biggest footballing interviews I've seen online.
What the interview did show was there's a humility that he has that I think brings a huge amount of affection from the fan base. Not only for what he does as a footballer, but as a human being and the way that he's conducting himself. And I think, as I said, when you conduct yourself in the right way, these fans at Manchester United at Old Trafford will support you in a way that you've never felt before.
Yeah, very loyal. Steve, what did you think of his standing ovation?
It was coming, to be honest. The conversations I've been having all week with fellow United fans in various different places, literally in a shop, like walking down the street, people have been stopping us. The Casemiro interview's done an absolute madness, and everyone said the same thing that we said. I mean, I was literally standing next to the cameraman as he's talking, and I'm just going, what shone through was the authenticity and the depth of his feeling for the club and the city and the fans. And I think someone like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that 20 legend banner was up for a long, long time in Old Trafford. And the reason that was up there wasn't because of his ability. It was because of his connection to the fans, and it was because of how much he got it. And not every player gets it. Certainly not every player gets it to that level. But when you've got someone with the pedigree of Casemiro, who genuinely could have come to Old Trafford for a payday, he doesn't do that. But he embeds himself in the fans. His little boy is a United fan. Like, think about how nuts that is. Like, he's really bought into this club, what it means to be at this club. And like I said to him on the day, there's very few that have honoured the shirt in the way that you have. Thank you.
And the main thing, he put Carragher away as well. Oh my goodness. Went viral with that one. Rio, what do you say to people who still think he's a waste of money? Because overall, he cost the club £148 million in terms of transfers, wages, etc.
Yeah, listen, he has cost a hell of an amount of money, but you're not going to get a player of that caliber on the cheap. Do you know what I mean? I think the fee, you could argue, was it a bit much with the lack of sell-on that he's going to have because of his age? Yeah, you could argue that, but Man United, the way that the hierarchy were running the club at that time, people were putting numbers in front of Man United, and Man United were just going for it. So that was then, and I think looking back at that, I think it's not about the fee or what's been paid. I think it's more about the man that came and the man that's left, and the imprint that he's left on the football club, but also the imprint the football club's left on him and his family. And I think that's one of the key things as well. He didn't just buy into this, and any player that travels and goes to a new country, it's absolute that their families need to buy into it, and his family did that. And the way he spoke about them, and again, not just Man United touching him, the fans touched his family, which has been, like, again, you can see the emotion that came with when he was talking was probably the reason, one of the big reasons as to why the interview's done so well online.
Yeah. I mean, reports are suggesting as well, though, that Michael Carrick is about to sign a 2-year deal. Rio, INEOS, okay? If you're INEOS right about now, give me the reasons that you're backing your former teammate.
I think INEOS have to back him right now because he's put INEOS in the corner and said, you can't get rid of me. And like I said before, the only way you get rid of Michael Carrick right now, after what he's done, is if Luis Enrique leaves PSG and comes to Man United and knocks the door and says, guys, I want to manage Man United. He's the only person I'll do that for right now. Anyone else, there's too many question marks around him. What he's done is he's got us into Champions League is one thing. He's improved individual performances, got players playing to a level that we would assume that they should be playing at consistently. He's got fans believing again, right? And what he's done as well, which is I think a huge thing, he's taken players that were on their knees confidence-wise to a position now where they're in the tunnel and they're looking across and thinking, you're not going to beat us today. And I don't think that was ever the case for the last year or so, even longer, 2 years almost, right? Under Amroom. There were more doubts than any belief in these players. And just even for those couple of points alone, he has to get the job and get the opportunity at this football club.
Steve, is the fan base still split on whether Carrick should be getting the job or not?
No, I think everyone kind of almost echoes what Rio says, which is, if not him, then who? And it's not the strongest case for, but it's a hell of a case for why not, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not the strongest, like, here's all the evidence for why, but it's almost like there's such a lack of evidence for anybody else that means it points to him being the logical one, almost. Yeah. I from my conversations with people online, it's going to vary wildly because that's online and it is what it is. But my conversations with like normal United fans is basically not like jumping for joy about it, but everyone's kind of going, well, he's doing the job. He's proving it. Why not give him a chance? Like, why not find out? Let's see what he can do. Because like Rio said, think about where this club has been the last 12 months. 12 months ago, we lost the final to Spurs and we finished 15th. At Christmas, we sacked our manager and today we came third in the Premier League.
Yeah.
How does that happen? I'll tell you how it happens. You appointed a guy that managed to turn the players around, simplify the game for them, get them all believing in something again. And he put the wins up, which is the number one thing that we always talk about is it's a results-based business. He's getting the results. He's the best manager in the Premier League since he started. Like, if we award a title since Michael Carrick was appointed, Michael Carrick's name's going on a trophy. Obviously, it won't work like that, but that would be how good he has done. And he's played everybody. So how can you dismiss what he's done?
Do you know what as well? I think you hear a lot of people saying, these are the reasons why he shouldn't. We haven't played great football, or we haven't been consistent in the way that we've played, and we've stumbled over a couple of results. That's football. And also he's doing that with a team that he's dragging from the floor, by the way. Like, so there is going to be stumbling blocks in that sense, and nothing's going to be perfect at that point, right? And he's going to find it hard when he's got to play Champions League and there's more games in the calendar, and he's only been playing once a week, so it's easy. Yeah, but he's earned the right to have a dig at that now. He's earned the right to go at the Champions League and play more games and then prove himself. And there's going to be people sitting there waiting going, I told you he couldn't do it. Well, that's not the point. The point is he's earned the right, give him the keys and let him foul if he fouls and doesn't do well. He deserves the opportunity to sit there and have a stab at it.
Does it worry you that he's kind of getting it through default though?
No. That's just the circumstances. It's not default. He's earned the right. He's got the wins on the board, like Steve says. If the League Cup was given out from when Michael Carrick took over to the end of the season now, he wins the league. So he's obviously done a really good job.
We're not talking 5 games there, are we? What is it, 17 games or something now?
No, he's played everybody as well. I mean, I want to ask you, Rio, could you describe Carrick's identity in terms of style and the way he wants the side to play?
I don't think we've seen anything consistent to go, that's exactly it right now. I think he's still working away towards that, but I do think he wants to play a bit of a swashbuckling style at times. He doesn't mind containing a team a little bit and then playing off the back foot at times. But I think he wants to be able to win a game in multiple ways. I don't think he's going to be one of those who's going to say, I'm like a Pep or something, or this is the way we play and we're not going to deviate right now. I think he's going to be somebody who's a little bit more, right, let me assess the opposition and we'll adapt it accordingly. And I think that's sensible with the tools that he's got in his box at the moment. You're good at that. You're good at that. You're not good at that. So we're going to play to your strengths. And I think that's been very, very shrewd.
Very smart. I mean, obviously he hasn't been popular with everyone, Steve. What do you reckon he needs to do to get pundits like Gary Neville or Roy Keane on his side?
It's gone too far. Man United have got no, because Rio's not doing commentary no more. Manchester United have got no one who is pro Manchester United. Maybe Owen Hargreaves, right? But Roy Keane is not a United fan, and he's just permanently pissed off with Manchester United. Gary Neville, I can't not say he's a United fan because he clearly is, but his commentary style is negative anti-United. Maybe Wayne Rooney's the only one, and he's an Everton fan. Like, there's no one out there that gives you a pro-United stance on it. Everyone is anti-United.
I'll tell you one thing, right? Michael Carrick will not give a shit about what Gary Neville or Roy Keane says. Like when he was a player, any comments, any negativity, good or bad comments, were like water off a duck's back. Just brushed it aside. He knew what he was good at, knew what he wanted to do, and would just carry on with it. And I don't think he'd be any different as a manager.
Bruno Fernandes. He's equaled the Premier League assist record.
Sorry, Joel, before we get into that, can I just shout out Joel Beya for his interview with Bruno Fernandes when he picked up the trophy for the Player of the Year. Great interview, by the way. Great interview.
Thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate it, man.
Not seeing it everywhere. Well played.
Nah, thank you, man. Appreciate the support from you guys as well, Rio, and the team as well, the Rio Presents team. Thank you so much. But yeah, man, Bruno Fernandes, he's now equaled the Premier League assist record. So Rio, where does Bruno rank amongst the best creators in the Premier League that you've ever seen?
Yeah, I think you've got to put him up there. I think he's the chance. Do you know what I'd like to see? What's the stat on chances created that haven't been scored? I reckon he'd be right up there. He hasn't had an Andy Cole, Dwight York, Solskjaer, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Rooney, Tevez. Like, he hasn't had one of those guys. Berbatov. He ain't had these guys. Like, he's had, no disrespect, he's had guys that have been subpar to that in front of him, right, for most of the time that he's been at Man United, or players that are below their best, not in their prime. So imagine if he had a Haaland up top or an Aguero like Kevin De Bruyne had. Like, his output would be even better. Against Forest, right, in the game just gone, he's created 8 chances in the one game, and it resulted in 1 assist. That's what I'm saying. So how many games has he done that where he's creating a mad amount of chances and you're only getting 1 goal, sometimes no goals? So it kind of like
double the next person chance created in the league.
Oh, it's mental. It's mental. I mean, listen, Thierry Henry and Kevin De Bruyne are 2 of the best you've seen in that department. Obviously, they had 20 assists in a season, right? And that record was it's a hard record to get near. He's done that, and half of the season, if not more, he was playing as a holding midfielder. Can we just add that? There needs to be an asterisk on this, by the way, to just state that point. So in 10, 20 years, people see that point, because it's a massive point. Because he's going up against a number 8 stroke number 10 and a centre forward.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen in modern football like a player where everything just goes through him like that. Like, I'm not comparing him to a Neymar. I'm not going over the top, but there was a time when Neymar played for Brazil, he played for, probably Brazil. Everything was going through him. And right now, Bruno is that guy. It looks like the defenders can't do anything about it either. So yeah, it's not easy, man. He's treating this like
he's created, I've just seen a stat, he's created almost 250 more chances than Kevin De Bruyne since his debut in January 2020. That is a joke. He's dwarfing legends.
What's impressed you more? His technical ability or his mentality?
Mentality.
I think. You have to remember, I think it's a great point that, the mentality, because I think if you put yourself in his shoes, he's playing in a substandard Man United team.
Yeah.
And doing crazy numbers and knowing that he could probably go to 99% of the other teams and play and have a chance to win trophies. And he's staying and doing that almost under duress, right? That is hard to do that, man. It's hard to do that. When you're in the school playground, right, and your team is the worst team and you're playing like round robin 5-a-sides or something like that, right, and you're in a rubbish team, it's hard to keep your head in the game, isn't it? Most people give up and go, do you know what, I ain't having this. I'm going for dinner. I'm going for a break or something. Or I'm just going to throw the towel in. Like, he's gone continuously every year. And even these numbers in terms of combining goals and assists, it's only Mohamed Salah with 193 goals and assists that betters Bruno's 141. Like, he's done it on every level.
That's mental, man. I mean, how do you deal with playing behind him though? Like, his style of play. It's risky football. He said it even with the interview that I had with him. He says he doesn't mind losing the ball. You know, he said he doesn't really look at stats like that. You know, how do you play against someone like that, Rio?
I put it, how do you play with someone like that? Because some people say, I could never play with him. He's always giving it away. And I see a lot of people trying to hammer him, right? Casemiro was like, no. He gets it and he wants to play forward and hurt teams. Players that he plays with appreciate massively what he does because he's the difference maker. You need someone like that in your team. If you haven't got someone like him who's willing to take risks and get chances for your team, right, or goals, where are you going? Where's the hope? He is where the hope lies within this Man United team when you're looking to create and get out of a boring 0-0 situation. I mean, and defending against him, from anywhere on the pitch, he's a threat. That's your problem.
2008 Champions League finals, starting 11. You've got either Carrick and Hargreaves. They'll do your running and they'll keep holding the ball for you and they'll let him play. Or you put him in for Scholesy, or you put Scholesy and Carrick in and you let them keep the ball and he can be the one that loses it. And then front three, Rooney, Tevez, Ronaldo.
I actually think he would have taken us to another level.
The runs that Ronaldo makes, the runs that Tevez makes, the runs that Rooney would make, he'd find them.
Because Scholesy at that point was a deep lying playmaker, was a deep lying, like he controlled the momentum of the game. Like everything ran through him and that's him and Michael, right? But if you added him to that mix, like creating chances from higher up the pitch, because at that point it was more like get the ball to Rooney, he'll create something for one of those, or Tevez or Ronaldo, just create something for themselves or for one of the other two. It was just like a ridiculous combination that they had. But if you added him to that mix again, Jesus, I don't know what we could have done, you know.
Does that, you see your barren period that the club's gone through, does it make it even more outstanding?
Yeah.
Of course it does. Of course it does. Yeah. This is the modern era of Brian Robson. The one that when he's 34, 35-year-old, we're all going to be crying if we lift the Premier League and he finally gets his hands on that trophy when he's carried the club like Brian Robson did for, by that time, it's going to be like a decade or something. Like, he's came here, he's given us the best years of his career. He's absolutely more than over-delivered on every single promise that he implied to us. He's stayed when he's had life-changing generational amounts of money banged on the table from Saudi. And he's gone on and he's equaled the record, but we still have 90 minutes to play. There's not going to need to be an asterisk because I think he's getting at least one against Brighton. And he's going to stand alone as the best individual assist-creating season the Premier League has ever had without even a decent forward line.
Crazy. Rio, here's one for you. Do you reckon he's disrespected when they put him in comparisons with De Bruyne and Henry? You know, some people, you can see they don't like it. Do you reckon there's a disrespect there?
Yeah, but I get why. I think the opposing fans are going to say, oh, like it's Henry, man. Henry's one of the greatest, if not the greatest Premier League player. De Bruyne has won countless trophies with Man City and done ridiculous things as well. So, and they've had their career. Like Kevin De Bruyne is basically almost finished. He's gone to Napoli, right? But Bruno's still playing. And it always happens that while you're still playing, you probably never get the flowers you deserve. But when he's gone, when it's all said and done, especially when, like I said, when you look at what Thierry Henry and what Kevin De Bruyne had to play with, the players, the difference in levels of players that they played with who are getting on the end of their chances, it's a massive, massive difference. Because Man United, on the end of the chances that Bruno had, is a very different level of player. No disrespect to what those guys had. When you're talking De Bruyne is playing the ball into people like Aguero or Haaland and them guys, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
No, it's true. I mean, I apologize to him. You know, I'm not going to lie. I said, I'm sorry. Listen, go check it out on my channel. I apologize. I was a man about it. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I always say it. But, yeah, well done to him. Shout out to him. Chelsea now. Moments after they lost the FA Cup final, they were on that PR run, Rio. They announced Xabi Alonso as their new manager, on a 4-year contract. Is he the man to turn that club around? Because it has been an absolute mess.
Do you know what? I'm actually surprised he's gone there, right? I'm not saying he's the wrong choice.
Same.
The reason I'm surprised that he's gone there is because I thought he would have been patient enough to wait and see how the Arne Slot at Liverpool situation will play out. Ex-Liverpool player, loves the club, always speaks well about the club, and you just think that was like a relationship waiting to happen behind the scenes. If you just sat tight, the way things are going at the moment, with the way things are unfolding at Liverpool, surely he's next in the queue to get that job. But Chelsea have acted quickly. They've probably put something in front of him, especially with some big numbers as well. Just turned his head and he just thought, oh, I'm going to go for it. Or he just thought, you know what? I can't sit and hope and wait and be guessing about what's going to happen in Liverpool. If this opportunity like this is here, it's a big club, Chelsea, so go for it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's doing. I like seeing young managers getting in these roles and getting opportunity. I think it's nice to see that, and he knows the Premier League. And what he done at Bayer Leverkusen, it can't be sniffed at. Again, like he's competing against the Bayern Munichs of this world and like winning the league and doing ridiculously well, right? So he knows how to put a team together. And what Chelsea need is they need somebody who can get a group of players together and really harness the talent that they have within that club. And he's done that at one club. The time will tell now if he can do that at Chelsea.
Steve, Xabi Alonso, are you a fan of his style of play? I know you watch a lot of European football.
Yeah, I actually think Xabi Alonso is the most exciting available manager in the world right now. And I think Chelsea have absolutely played a blinder in getting in this early before anyone else starts moving across the summer, because if United had appointed him, I'd have been happy with that. I would have had no qualms whatsoever. I'd have been like, okay, don't mind it. Let's have it. Let's see what he can do. And I think he's an absolute ridiculous upgrade on your LinkedIn boy. I think that's without a shadow of a doubt. I don't put too much blame for what happened at Real Madrid on his shoulders, because that shit show has continued since, and if not even worsened, you could argue. He had a fantastic win rate at Madrid. So, and what he did at Leverkusen was he a game away from like an undefeated season? Not your undefeated one cup competition or one league competition, but like
don't you worry. When we win the Champions League undefeated, you'll know about it. But yeah, I agree.
Why are you saying that like no one else has done that before?
No, but I'm just saying, but I didn't say no one else has done it, Steve.
No, but it's
getting defensive.
There was a tone in your voice, Joel. I heard it, right?
Yeah, no, you're getting defensive. Anyway, with Xabi Alonso going to Chelsea, though, it actually makes this next topic even more relevant, because Mo Salah has been going off. I mean, Steven Gerrard said that Mo Salah's statement was damning for the manager Arne Slot. I don't know where it came from. He said, I want to see Liverpool go back to being the heavy metal attacking team that opponents feared. That is the identity that needs to be recovered and kept for good. It cannot be negotiable, and everyone that joins this club should adapt to it. Who's everyone, Mo? You might as well have just said Arne Slot without saying Arne Slot. Rio, what do you think of this statement? Who is he aiming at?
Well, there's only one person he's aiming at that, and that's Arne Slot. There's obviously been something that's gone on behind the scenes, because he obviously doesn't like the manager, and he's making it very clear that he's not happy with the way things have gone. He's not happy with the style of football, and he's not happy with the way that the results have gone this season in his final year at the club, which is understandable. But to go public with it is a huge, huge, huge step. And I think, like, in some ways I look at it and go, would I want a player, if I was in the dressing room, to be doing that? Not really. I'd want to keep it in-house and have those arguments within the confines of the training ground, maybe. And let's have that and get it and air it out. But as someone on the outside looking in is like, I love hearing this. I want to see this. I want to see what and hear how a player's feeling and seeing the emotion of it. And you go, do you know what? If anybody's earned the right to be able to stand up and talk and shout out loud and say what's on their mind, probably in the last 8 or 9 years of that club, it would be Mo Salah. And the fact that there's about 8 or 9, maybe more players now that are in that dressing room that have liked that post and that statement online as well, says a lot about. Yeah, says a lot about. So there's obviously a lot of guys behind it. That's why I thought I'm sitting there going, like, unless Xabi Alonso hasn't got a social media team behind him, I'll be sitting there going, I can't actually sign for Chelsea right now with all this going on. The players are obviously backing what he's saying and not happy. So is he going to be able to stay there? Like, is his position safe right now? Or has he made a call to the Liverpool Football Club, Xabi Alonso and his team, and said, listen, guys, I've just had an offer from Chelsea. Are you going to be interested in me or not? Is he staying the big man, Arne Slot, the man in the chair? Probably said yes. Or he's made his decision maybe. That there's so many ways it could have gone. And on the other hand of Mo Salah, Arne Slot is probably sitting there, and he's had a few spiky things to say in his press conferences. He said something the other day about, like, yeah, it's good to work out in the gym, but you got to also do it in a training pitch. That's aimed at Mo Salah, right? Because he's the man who's known about the gym, and he posts about the gym. It's one of the only things he posts about. So the manager's being spiky as well. So Mo Salah's probably thinking, well, I'm going to come back at you. This is a 1-2. You shoot, I shoot. You hit, I hit. So it's fair dues in that sense. If I was Arne Slot now, I'd be the next press conference. I'd be saying, tune in, guys. Netflix, get your money out, get your check out. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm going again.
There's one game left. I don't understand, like, all of this pew pew wild wild west. This is like, I don't get it. Can't we just finish the season and, do you know what I mean? Talk about it later. It is crazy. Steve, if he was a United player, right, and he did this.
If this was a United player, mate, it'd be all over the news, but it's not.
I'm talking about, Mo Salah here. If
Genuinely, if this was a United player, mate, it would be absolute wall-to-wall coverage.
Carnage.
Especially with, like, for me, I think there's no question whatsoever. Mo Salah is, without a doubt, Liverpool's greatest Premier League player. There is no doubts about it whatsoever. And if people think it's anybody else, they're lying to themselves. No one has done what he has done. No one.
Okay, but if he was a United player, do you reckon it would taint his legacy?
Yes, is the answer. I'm not even going to give it a yes, but I think, yeah, it probably does. Because you don't want people having a snipe at the club like that. But clearly, Arne Slot's not up to it. Who takes over the champions, gets 500 million to spend, and then 8 months later comes out and says we're 9 players short of having a first team? Excuse me, my friend. That's on you.
Yeah, that is wild. That is wild. To win the Premier League like that and then spend that amount of money, £500 million, and then fall off a cliff and then have like in-house fighting going on publicly, like is wild. That is wild. That's soap opera stuff.
That's crazy. That is crazy. I mean, Steve's right though, because if it's United, if it's a Sancho or Rashford, or look at Madrid over there, it's like worldwide. We can hear the Madrid news all the way over here. You know, I don't even know if
they're big clubs, Joe. They're big clubs, aren't they?
Oh man, speaking about big clubs, obviously we're about to, win the Premier League, but Man City winning the FA Cup victory, do you reckon that kind of helps them in the title race a little bit?
No, because it's up to you, innit? If you lot win your game, it's over.
It's pretty straightforward, really, yeah.
Listen, this time next week, guys, don't call me on Sunday, yeah?
Don't worry about
I'm going to be...
You'll be muted, mate. You'll be muted.
No. Don't call me. I'll call you, all right? I'm going to be at Selhurst Park, just letting you know. And then after that, I'm heading to the Emirates with the guys, and we're going to celebrate, all right?
You're going to put some R. Kelly on when you do.
Joe,
guys,
do me a favour. I don't want slow jams when you're working out. It don't make me look at you in the right way. I'm looking at you very different when I'm seeing slow jams while you're lifting heavy weights.
I was in the gym. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we've got the Rio group chat, right, on Instagram. If you haven't joined the chat, you're missing out. Me, Rio, and Steve, we're on it every day. We're preparing for our gym sessions for the World Cup. And all of a sudden, there's a claim that I've been lifting weights whilst listening to R. Kelly or whatever, which is outrageous.
I mean, it's factual, but okay.
It weren't me playing it. It was the gym.
Okay.
You're back in tracks, I'm telling you. Listen, let's finish on this stat, guys, to just give you a little bit of a lift on the way out, guys. Man United won as many points, which were 42 at home this season, as they picked up home and away in the 24-25 season. Put that in your sandwich.
You guys were in the mud for real, Anyway, shout out to everybody watching the platforms. You guys have been brilliant. The news, the interactions. Shout out to the Man United fans as well who hit me up. You guys were great this week. I appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Rio presents, Rio meets. We're doing it all. Rio reacts, the Rio vlogs. It's all going down. Make sure you put the notifications on. Don't miss a beat.
Wait 1 minute, Steve. That bit of paper that Casemiro signed, is it official or what?
Legally binding, Rio, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, good.
You heard it here first. I'm
framing it in our office.
You heard it here first. Joel Beya, Stephen Howson, Rio Ferdinand, signing out. Peace.